Case 83, May 2025, Flamingo Land in Malton, England. After not visiting the park for 2 years, the agency returned to the park with a great team of detectives looking to see what the park was like for the 2025 season. This included rides on attractions like Sik and Kumali, but was overshadowed by poor operations and even poorer service from many of the staff within the park. Please grab your magnifying glass and proceed to the rest of the video. New detectives may join by pressing the subscribe or follow buttons. Many thanks. Back at Flamingo Land, first time in about 2 years I think, and to start our day we've managed to, hello Detective Whitmore, we managed to get on Sik, didn't have to wait thankfully, very quiet. However, my experience with Sik just then, bearing in mind I was very excited for it, it was a little rattly.
A little?
A bit rattly, very rattly.
I'd say the most rattly roller coaster experience of the year thus far.
Really?
Yes.
No, I'd say Smiley's worse than that.
No.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree. However, I really enjoy Sik because it's the lap bars and not the restraints, bearing in mind that it's the near Clona Colossus down at Thorpe Park.
Good.
Which makes those outline rolls at the end terrifying. Like, genuinely, I grabbed onto the fifth one, which is right before you go into the exit, because I was like, oh, it's a lot getting flung about, and it makes it really fun.
It really hurts your thighs.
But my thighs were really getting held in by the restraint, and it was just a lot. It wasn't as good as when I first rode it. I don't think it's aged that well, in all honesty.
The first year, I think it was great. The second year, it hurt me. I didn't ride it last year.
So it's funny, isn't it? Because I'm like, it's got another comparison to Colossus now, in that it's not comfortable.
Yes.
But Colossus will always be worse because of the because of the shoulder restraints. So that's quite interesting that the restraints still make a big difference. I'd still rather take Sik, but I wish it had the theme in, you know?
Yeah, I do think that used to be a lot smoother though, very recently, and it's literally within the last year, I don't know what's going on there.
Interesting, eh? Very interesting. Park doesn't look to be that busy. The car park's full, but there's a football tournament next door. There's loads of fields by the caravan park, which are part of the resort. And what's that called again? Velocity. Velocity's on. It wasn't here last year. Wasn't on last time I came, so maybe we're back on that next. I don't know.
Close Sik now to do some filming.
Oh yes, and there's an actual camera crew with actual broadcast cameras. Every time I get into Pleasure Beach, they go, no, you can't bring that in. I'm like, it's not a broadcast camera. That was a broadcast camera. There's like 5 of them. So it looks like they're rigging up the front with GoPros and stuff. So hopefully they'll be back open later on. Don't know why they didn't do the filming before the park opened.
Yeah. It was late enough to do it in the morning.
And it's going to be testing, right? So I don't know why they didn't do it then. But anyway, I think we're going to get on everything. Even if we don't want to get on Hero, I think we're going to be getting on Hero. Well, I'm very glad we got on Sik when we did, because as you can just about see, there are people at the top of the lift hill, and I suspect it's camera crew. They're probably setting up a camera at the top for when the train crests over. I'm surprised they haven't got any like signs to say, hey, it's closed because of filming, and that wasn't reported anywhere. The only news we saw on the website was that it's a hippo's 1 year birthday today, which is pretty cute. But yeah, I feel like they should have said this, or at least done it on a quieter day maybe, where scheduling allows, or at least before the park opens. So quite surprised by that, and it's closed now and people don't know that, and these poor kids are coming back not knowing what's going on. So we've just been on Velocity, and in the time that I've known Detective Whitmore, very simply, I've never seen her this frustrated. I'm going to hand the reins over to you now.
I don't like to moan. I'm trying to have a nice day, and I try to let everything go over my head, but the access in this park is really bad. So the queue access is, you get an orange wristband, and then one other immediate family person, or if you've got some other family, has to be family with you, they may allow other extra people, gets purple wristband. Now, I was fine with that. You got yours, I got my orange one. And then I said, oh, because you get timed out like you do at all parks. If there's short queues, am I still okay to, like, as you normally do at all of the parks, go in the short queue? They said no, because you've got an orange wristband on, you have to always use the access queues, which is frustrating when you're with a big group and sometimes you want to risk the queue, or you can cope with the queue, or you're timed out, so you go in the normal queue. You're not allowed to do that here. We waited in the disabled access queue on Velocity for about half an hour, because they were only letting one group on at a time, which I get is a restriction, fair enough. But I couldn't choose to go in the 5-minute normal queue because I had the wristband on. I ended up waiting half an hour as a person who can't queue for a long time. I ended up queuing longer than everybody else. It's backwards. And then just as we were finally about to get on, they cut it off to set up cameras on the coaster again. And when I said, as a disabled guest, we've been waiting half an hour for them to then just shrug me out and just be like, so.
Saying that to, we believe, one of the owners of the park as well.
Yeah, Mr. Pink Shirt Flamingo man, he just didn't care. And I think, I understand they're filming for whatever documentary they're doing or whatever, but your guest should come first, and the access pass is already flawed. I've already had to wait longer than everybody else queuing for the ride. And then you add on the fact that there was fast passes behind me that they were letting on in front of the disabled guests, even though we're all in the same queue. And then the camera thing happened, and it was just one thing after another, and I just got really wound up. So I've taken the band off because there's no point having it on.
Yeah, it's massively frustrating.
To summarise.
I mean, my experience within the video industry as an editor myself, coming outside of the whole branding of the agency, etc., like, there's other opportunities to do this. I don't know why they can't do it on a weekday, but maybe it's just the availability of the talent. That could be it. But still, I feel like there should at least be notices to say, filming. Like, there's no notice anywhere to say, we're filming, so some rides may be impacted.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done it earlier on when it was quieter, whereas now it's middle of the day. I know the rides need to test, but personally, I feel like you'd bring in the staff earlier. You get the rides tested before the park, way before the park opens, so then the guests can do that.
Some family have a sort of day out. I don't know who the family are. People are asking them for photos, but they're obviously trying to get them in a natural day out environment throughout the day at Flamingo Land, which I get, but it's just impacting everybody too much.
They're filming on the rides in such a way that they're at the back, so you can't see anyone else.
Yeah.
So they could easily just shoot the ride bits before the day and then shoot everything else around it. Yeah.
And you know, people do stuff on park all the time with filming crews, and it doesn't normally impact like this at all. No. And especially when the access was already not working. It's very disappointing for Flamingo Land, and I didn't come here last season because I heard operations were bad, and I've come here today and it's bad.
Yeah, for context as well, this is our local park. It takes an hour to get here. We'd rather drive for 2 hours to go to Alton Towers or for an hour and a half to go to Blackpool than to come here.
Hands down, every time.
And we've got annual passes for Merlin because we'd rather go to Alton Towers. It says everything really.
I used to enjoy coming here. I've been coming here for a long time, and it's just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And I hate being negative about parks. I do. And I feel sorry for the staff today because they're having to put up with all these angry people that are fuming, and they're just.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Minimum wage trying to get through the day. So yeah.
No, you're right. It's not their fault, is it? It's
her face dropped when they said they were going to film. She knew. She was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it?
No, it's not fair on the staff. It's not fair on the customers. You're prioritising a bit of filming over everything else. No.
So we've just had food, and I had like a vegan chicken loaded fries, that sort of thing, which is all right. The chicken was decent. I thought the chips were a bit cold because we've been waiting a while, and they weren't really shouting loud enough in regards. Where are we going? Weren't shouting loud enough with the numbers, so I had to really listen intently. But then equally, when they shouted them, the guy handing them out was the guy serving on the tills. So there was a delay in that we had to wait for him to serve the customers he had before he would then give us the food, even though it was ready straight away. So that was frustrating. And then I went to get some ice cream, so I walked all the way back to the front to find a vegan one for Whitmore. And the guy served some customers before us, and he went to make an ice cream. Went to get the cones. When he was at the back sorting out the cones, he went on his phone for a bit, and I was like, all right, cool. He then did the ice cream in the cone. Half of it was coming off the cone because he apparently has never done that before. Where are we going? We're looking at Mumbo Jumbo. And then when it came to us, let's put you down there. There we go. Right. And then I order a vegan Magnum and a double hazelnut one, which was really nice. Don't know how the vegan one tasted, because he said, which one's that one? And I said, oh, it's the one that says vegan almond. And he went, oh, I don't know what that looks like on my till. And I was thinking, it's the milk chocolate one with like nuts in it or something. And he went, oh, we don't have that. And I was thinking, do you not have it, or do you just not know what it looks like on till? Because that's what it seemed like based on what you just said, right? And I said, well, can you look for it? And he just went to the went to the freezer. No, we don't have it. And I was like, okay, I don't think you know what you're looking for. So then I had to take mine, and then that was it. And it was just really poor service. He doesn't even know what the product is. Oh, hello.
Ice creamless.
So you've not got your ice cream. I did. Mine was really good.
He's probably just been stuck on there, bless him, without any training. But yeah.
Poor. I mean, I know that was us sitting down for food. It's easier for us to eat here when we can, in parks. We do try and bring our own food, but we didn't today. We thought we've not been for a while. Let's try some of the food instead. And just so far, service and park in general has been pretty poor. Where we got food was pretty messy as well, as you'll have seen from the footage. I just don't understand, really. Focus on you. No, focus on me. There we go. I don't understand, really. And it's a shame, because you want to support the independent stuff, but why when it's bad? Probably the only properly themed area is Kumali. I thought that was alright. So the Vekoma SLC. Imagine Infusion at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. But I thought it was alright. Yeah, my head did get knocked around a little bit, but the little padded comfort bits did actually save me, and I can see Whitmore looking at me, and I'm going to guess you had a bad experience. Come on in! Come on, you.
It's still one of the comfier SLCs.
Definitely.
However, that was not the comfiest I've ridden it. That was a bit rough. Me and George were both pinning our heads.
Better than Infusion though, right?
Yeah, but I think it's easy to brace your head on Infusion. That's a bit harder to do on there because the layout's very different.
What I found interesting with that though was that, the elements and inversions and stuff, they were definitely comfier and easier to manage, I feel, than Infusion. But it specifically said, like on the backs of the seats, wind, it specifically said, do not put your head forward. And I always do that on Infusion.
You're not supposed to put your head forward on any coast, right? You use a whiplash.
Yeah, but I felt it was alright. I
don't do forward on that. I do back, pin myself into the corner on the restraint.
I see, on the pads.
So I have a little pillow, and then I just ride it having a little nap.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. I was pleasantly surprised. I think last time I did it, I was like, huh? And that was on the front, but I was on like somewhere towards the middle, I think like row 5, and I thought it was alright,
I've
actually.
done this coast about 100 times now. That was definitely the worst one I've done on it.
Alright, go. Sorry.
There was one day where I sat on it, and I think we must have done it about 20 times in a row. We didn't get off. We were only people in the park.
Imagine that, short queues. Like, we should have had it earlier anyway. And try and enjoy the rest of our day, because it's been negative so far.
Enjoying the company, just enjoying the sun, and the roller coasters when we can get on, and they're a bonus, I guess.
When we can.
Wow.
Big clue there. You know what? I think Mumbo Jumbo's alright. So it's an SNS. Is it El Loco or just Loco?
It's El Loco, isn't it?
El Loco. I think it's funny. It's kind of like almost in a way like a twisted wild mouse, isn't it? Like you've got the inversions and the weird profiling and stuff, and the very unusual restraints. You got the lap bar, and then you got like the separate shoulder pads, and George was saying you can individually move them, and I was like, yeah, so you can shrug your shoulders at the rest of the park because you're so dissatisfied. But you know what, I actually thought it was alright. It was only right at the end on the final bank turn before you hit the brakes where my shoulder blades were quite sore in the seat. Otherwise, I thought it did okay, actually. You didn't seem to enjoy it from the photo.
I do enjoy Mumbo Jumbo. It's very unique. I like that we've got one. There's not many of them, is there? I don't think. I remember when it opened and I was terrified of it. I've got over that fear now. I'll go on it happily, but there was a time where I really struggled. But it's good. It's just the last bit of banking is a bit...
Yeah, in the old shoulder blade it was just a bit much there, but anyway, I have one final cred here that I can get and haven't yet gotten, and so I might go get it. That was a lot of guzz, wasn't it?
Guzz.
So I've got a new cred today, and that's Runaway Mine Train here at Flamingo Land in Yorkshire. Did you know that every mine train is a runaway mine train? I figured that out today. Best thing I can say about that is I'm probably not going to do it ever again, because you've got a helix, and then afterwards it's just, the profiling doesn't look bad, but it's like, hey, let's just throw you about in every direction possible. It's like 4D like damage. I don't really understand how it manages it. Wasn't great. Kids love it because they're small and it doesn't hurt them, so if you're a kid, have fun. Ella liked it. She's tiny, she's a very small human, but we didn't really enjoy it, did we?
Yeah, it's worse if you go on it as an adult alone. It is better if you have two of you because you're kind of pinned in a bit more.
Yeah.
If you sit on it alone, which I've done before, you will lose your kneecap.
Yeah, I don't know where mine have gone. I've lost them. Wasn't that funly terrifying?
Yeah, they're good fun, but they are very scary. Like, And no matter how red hot and no wind there is down here, it is so windy up there.
Super windy. The wind was blowing us around, wasn't it? It was a lot.
And you're not good on them anyway.
That's my limit. It's like, it's the fear of falling.
You wouldn't even let go.
I did for like a split second, then I was straight back on.
Nope.
Glass floors, like in Blackpool Tower.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like bridges, ladders and glass floors.
Yeah, terrifying. But I do it because I think it's really fun and cool, but I was feeling a bit dizzy and sick and I was like,
I think if you focus on like one spot or you just look down, you get really dizzy on that, so I try to just keep on constantly looking round.
It was hard because we're at such an angle as well because of the forces pulling us out. It was hard to kind of keep steady. Also, shout out to that guy who didn't have a name badge on.
Oh, right on, man. Very good.
He was fantastic. He was making like fun conversation with everyone. Like with every single person, he was adapting his conversation. So for the kids, he was a bit more silly, a bit more like, "Oh, windsweat, look when you come up there, blah blah blah," and being personal. Like there's a woman with a hijab on, and he was saying, "Oh, just to be aware, super windy up there. You might lose it."
Up there.
Yeah, somebody lost it the other week.
And she got off, and she was like, "Good shout on that."
Yeah.
As soon as we went up there, it was like.
He's easily the best member of staff we've seen all day. Fantastic. We've heard people say like a lot of the staff are very rude, but he was the opposite. He was perfect. I couldn't fault anything.
The staff have been okay. The service in some of the food places have been a bit meh, but he was great. And
Fantastic.
the guy on Runaway Mine Train was great as well.
He was funny. He acknowledged that it was a rough ride and said, "First aid's over there."
First aid's over there.
Cheeky.
Yeah. So,
But he was very nice. Yeah.
They're nice.
The more we've gone into the day, the better it's become because it started off very badly.
It was a rocky start, wasn't it?
It was.
Boo. But you just got to enjoy your day when you're here. You can't let it ruin your day, I guess.
Yeah, if anyone's ever had a really good day here, please let us know down in the comments because
I've had good days in the past.
Okay.
I've had plenty.
Wait, but in recent history though, I feel like in recent history I've only heard people being negative about it.
I didn't come here last year, and I think I came here 3 or 4 times into 2023, and they were all fine. They were all really quiet days though. Pretty much packed to myself kind of days. So
yeah.
I came with work groups, I came with family, so it was fine. But today's just not. Last year I'd heard really bad stuff, so I decided to give it a miss last year. But then I hadn't heard anything this year, so I was like, I'll give it another try. And yeah.
Oh.
Not great.
Kids are unhappy as well behind you. Twistosaurus is so ruddy fun. It's small layout. It's kind of like almost wild mousey, and then you get to the top and it's got like the non-banked corners, like switching back on itself, and then you keep going and then you do a little helix around that rock in the centre, and then it's just spin time. It's very much one of those where you can easily manipulate the spin. So if there's just 2 of you, stick to one side, you're going to go for it. The train in front of us, they got 2 goes. Not 2 goes, sorry, it's 2 laps, but they asked for another, and I was thinking, no, come on, there's a queue. So they sent it again, and I was like, what? So when we were going on, I said, can we get a 3rd lap? And the guy went, yeah. I was like, okay, fair enough. We get back after the 3rd lap, and it goes again. So we got double. And, oh, hello, that's an Allosaurus. So we got 4 laps, but on the last lap, it was ridiculous. Yes, it's Allosaurus.
It's Allosaurus.
I know, I'm being silly. We fuming.
Did you not play Big Al?
No. What was I saying?
Sorry.
It's all right. What was I saying? I was saying about, the last lap was just very, very silly spin. It was crazy spin. So yeah, very fun, very much like that. And that's our day done, isn't it? Here at Flamingo Land. So as much as it started off very, very poorly, it has gotten better. And you know what? This dino-themed area at the back, Dino Stone, poor name. It's a nice area. Yeah, it genuinely is a nice little area. It's themed, and I would love to see like proper themes around the rest of the park, because the industry as a whole is moving that way now. You know, it's moving towards themed experiences, and we're not getting that here, which is a shame. Yeah. You can see attempts like this sort of beach area here, the sort of mini western area with Runaway Mine Train. And then you got the dino area and Africa at the back with Kumali.
The theming used to be really good, and I just feel like it's not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a shame.
It's a massive shame, isn't it?
Like flip-flop is looking sad.
Yeah.
And even like the kids' splash area, it just looks very neglected.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
It's a shame.
Needs a paint job.
This part needs a lot of work doing to it, and in all honesty, I don't think we'll be back anytime soon because it's just There's not much
go
here.
A little bit extra and go to a better.
Yeah,
way.
I'd rather drive 30 minutes extra for Blackpool or an hour extra. This is one way as well to Towers. So don't expect us back here anytime soon. If you're coming here, do it on a weekday when it's quiet,
Yes.
or do it at your own peril because you don't know what you're going to get. You might get on loads of rides, you might not.
And today was quiet.
This is quiet, and still the wrap situation with velocity earlier was poor, to the point where we stopped doing that in the end because it was quicker to not do it. Although saying that, I think on other rides it was quieter. I think we just had bad luck with it, but still, like,
fast passes as well as the wrap stuff.
It was poorly done, wasn't it? So that was a shame.
I think we do need to come back once because we didn't really talk about the reimagining of the water ride.
Yes. Can we switch this and point it at you because my arm's aching?
Yeah, sure.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Yeah, water ride.
Yeah. So the drop, I believe, was having like.
It's been reprofiled, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was having issues. It was getting stuck on the lift hill or something, and it was always broken. If you came here as much as I did, it was always broken. So they basically, it's like less than half of the height it used to be, but they've added like, there used to be like a little building at the top before you do the descent, but now that's a bigger, different building, and there's another building as well further down when you're up there. So I don't know what they're going to put in those buildings, but I think to make up for the lack of thrill on the drop, it's going to have to be very good. It needs to be themed. It needs to be something. It can't just be a metal shed.
I'm curious to see what they do because 6 was a good investment, but it's already aged poorly, and yeah, we'll see how we get on, won't we?
Yeah, I managed to get on that just before they closed it for its reimagining, so I'll see.
We'll see. So we might come back and check that when it's done, but otherwise, yeah, it's been a mixed day. We've had very good company, as you can see behind Detective Whitmore. Hiya, just saying you're good company, but otherwise it's been a bit of a weird day, right?
Yeah. We didn't get to race the cars.
Oh yeah, and we missed stuff because we've not had a chance because, yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, that's us done. So from you, Detective Whitmore, and me, Detective Miracle, that is day done. Don't know who that guy is, and we'll see you next time.
I made a friend.
Oh, no, he's gone now. Bye, mate.